Hello friends and viewers, and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. This is Tim, and once again we're going to be running through the land of Lothric. However, this time we're going to have a fun little gimmick. I will be doing a Soul Level 1 run today. Now, for the sake of time, we're going to be skipping all the running through the levels and whatnot, but I might be providing commentary on them. But basically, we're just going to be going straight to all the bosses. Alright, so what is a Soul Level 1 run? Well, what it consists of is there's 3 rules. First, start as deprived. 2, no leveling up. And 3, you gotta beat all the bosses. So it begins. Alright, so you gotta start out as a deprived. This is very important. We're gonna be Cupcake for the run. Cupcake is, of course, a girl. Alright, young. Deprived. So this starts you out as Soul Level 1. It's the only starting class that starts at level 1. All the other ones start with a little bit of level up. The starting equipment you get is a club, a loincloth, and a shield. The shield, however, does not parry, which is really annoying. My starting gift, I chose the Fire Gem. In retrospect, I regret everything. But yeah, we're going to run through here. This will be the only part of the levels I think we'll actually walk through, just so I can chat with you a little bit and give you guys a preface. But for the rest of it, we're going to just go literally boss to boss, and I'll give you a little bit of the details, like what my armor is, what my weapons are, and what my rings are. Rings are the most important part of a Dark Souls level 1 run, because they provide you with the most utility. Armor is less important, it's kind of just up to whatever you can wear, and the weapon is very important. But honestly, just like all weapons, really, or all Dark Souls runs, really all weapons that you can use work. However, you do have a limited supply. Now, just for a disclaimer here, I've already beaten the whole game, so I'm going back and commentating over this. So I'm going to be giving you guys tips, pointers, if you want to follow along at home. I strongly recommend it. If you're a familiar veteran with this series, try it out. It's really hard, but I think you might enjoy the challenge. It really forces you to understand the bosses and to know how to really effectively counter them. Alright, so we're going to run in here. Didn't mean to hit that guy. Alright, here we go. So here is the tutorial boss, Iudex Gundyr. I believe that's how that's pronounced. For those of you who have never seen Dark Souls 3 before, this tutorial boss is basically a big "Welcome to Dark Souls, bitches," right in your face. He is not easy, so if you have trouble with him, don't get discouraged. He is hard. He's actually quite a bit harder than a lot of the bosses in this game. And all the bosses in Dark Souls 2. Kidding. I actually struggled with this guy because usually I like to parry him if you start as a class that has a good shield. Namely, anything but this class. Wow, I almost died right there. That would have been embarrassing. So this club is actually a pretty good weapon. It does some serious damage. And it staggers enemies. Look at that, 3 misses. So I started with the Fire Gem, which lets you infuse a weapon with fire, but I regret everything because you can get a Fire Gem pretty early on, and you really don't need that many weapons in this. So what I recommend you get instead, especially if you have trouble with Iudex Gundyr, is the Black Fire Bomb. It's really good against this boss. Alright, nailed it. Very nice. So again, I'm not going to show you guys my progression through the game. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. But I will highlight some of the key items that I pick up between bosses, and at the end of this video I'm going to go over all the items and rings that I get in this run today. So there it was, 0 deaths. I'll also let you know if I died during these guys. No deaths during him. Alright, boss number 1, real boss number 1, Vort of the Boreal Valley. Let's watch a little cutscene. Spooky dog man. Roar! Alright, so for those of you who have played Dark Souls 3, you're familiar with Vort. Now, Vort is, again, kind of a real wake-up call to... Oh, I cannot believe I got hit by that right there. That's just embarrassing. Vort is a very interesting boss because he's not that hard if you learn his moveset. I got hit twice like a total noob. But basically, he's follows the Bloodborne vein of boss weaknesses, which is he's super fast, he's super aggressive, but if you get behind him, or in his case, kind of right under him, you can actually deal some serious damage to him, like I did there. You just kind of wail on him. Get behind him, he can't hit you. This part here is the only hard part where you really just got to dodge 3 times, and then run up to him and start wailing. By the way, you'll notice I'm using an axe now. There is the Deep Battle Axe, which is on a mimic in the Undead Settlement. Or not the Undead Settlement, the High Wall of Lothric, whatever this first place. I strongly recommend that if you want a really, really good, easy, cheap, free weapon, kill the mimic, get the axe. It's actually really easy to kill the mimic because the club is really good against him. Anyways, that was Vort. Didn't die on him. Used the loincloth and the axe. Onto the Rotted Greatwood. And somebody didn't start the camera. Yep, that's right. I totally forgot to film myself in this fight. Rest assured, he was easy. Get a fire-infused weapon. It's real easy. I used the Bandit's axe with fire infusion. You can use whatever you want. Whoops. All right, 0 deaths. Use the Brigand's axe, not the Bandit's axe, sorry. The loincloth was my armor, and then I used the Flynn's ring and the Chloranthy ring. So those 2 rings are actually super helpful. The Flynn's ring, what it does is if you're naked, basically if you're not carrying much, it does extra damage. Your damage goes up really high. However, if you start to carry even anything, like even just light armor, that damage boost really gets much lower. Oh man, that was close. So this is the Sages, the Crystal Sage. I always have a really hard time on this boss for some reason. You can kind of cheese him if your weapon has high enough damage. And the way you cheese him is, he does this one move where he'll put these little orbs above his head. As long as even 1 orb remains above his head, he will stay up and won't teleport. But the second you hit him when he doesn't have orbs on his head, like this, he will teleport away. So basically the cheese is if you can keep him with 1 orb over his head by like kind of sidestepping around him, then he'll just stay up forever. This is where I always die. You're basically playing a guessing game of guess the right one. Somehow I survived that attack right there. I have no idea how. But usually that would have killed me, especially on soul level 1. Alright, I think I guessed wrong on this one. Oh no, I guessed correctly. That was lucky. If you guess wrong, and usually, by the way, if you want to guess where he is, he's on the exact opposite side of the arena that you are. So just run to the other side and try to hit someone. Here's the one where I totally guessed wrong. Yep. So he's the pink one, not the blue ones. Oh, yep, this is where I usually start to unwind. Oh, nope. Alright, so... yeah, the trick with this guy here is if you guess the wrong one, don't panic. Just go hit the blue ones, because all they take is 1 hit and then they will disappear. So if you want to do it the slow way, hit each blue one once and then go for the purple one. So this was a fun conclusion here. Double KO! Yep, that's right, we got a double kill. I've never actually had this happen before, but that was a double kill, and that actually counted as killing the Crystal Sage, which if you want to verify it, if that ever happens to you, all you gotta do is go into your inventory and see if the soul of the Crystal Sage is there, and sure enough it was, so bully for us. Yeah, it's kind of cheap, but whatever. Anyways, that's Crystal Sage. I actually, so technically this filming here was on a second run I did, because the first run I started, I didn't film the first 3 bosses. So the first time I died 4 times. This time I only died once, but it was a double KO, so what are you gonna do? Anyways, still using the Flynn's ring and the Chloranthy ring. Chloranthy ring restores stamina quicker, which is really helpful. And again, Flynn's ring raises your DPS if you're going butt naked. And even if you're not going naked, because obviously I'm not naked here, it still raises your DPS a little. All right, on this guy, by the way, you saw I just equipped the Alluring Skull. That is very important because that will distract these dudes. While I'm running around fighting these Deacons of the Deep here, who are just really, the key here is just keep running. Don't ever stop running because you'll get hit and die. So I picked up a few new items right now. You'll notice I have a shield. That is the Grass Crest Shield. And that shield raises your stamina regeneration rate. So it's really helpful. And it's actually a pretty good shield. If you're ever having trouble, use it. It's one of the few shields you can use. So your weapons in this game, in this Soul Level 1 run, are very limited because you start with only 10 strength and 10 dexterity. That was a close death. I'm close to a death. But anyways, so there's not that many weapons you can use unless you use like rings to raise your dexterity or strength. I'm also using two other rings that I find in you can find in the Cathedral of the Deep here, which is the Lloyd's Sword Ring and the Lloyd's Shield Ring. They both do the same kind of thing, which is at 100% health, they raise the attack in the case of the Swords Ring, or your defense in the case of the Shield Ring. But only at 100% health. You'll notice when I heal, you'll see a little like buff thing right there come up in the top left. You'll see that little armor up and attack up. It is a sizable increase to both of those. Very sizable, like not to be scoffed at. However, it requires you to be at 100% HP. And 100% HP is not easy to do. Alright, by the way, you saw those alluring skulls right there. Otherwise, you get boomed like that with the fireballs. So really, stock up on the alluring skulls. Throw them around. I think I messed up right there because I don't think it worked, but that will distract these fatties for a little while and let you go in and wail on the last boss there. Alright, I think I'd throw another one here. Perfect. And you can just go to town on this guy. These guys are really hard. Don't be bashful if you have trouble with these guys. But they are made much easier if you use like a really big weapon, like the Great Club or the Large Club. Those guys, you can get some serious thing. Oh man, I almost died right there because I accidentally backstabbed some other dude. Here we go. Yeah, see, they also heal the boss, which is super duper annoying. Oh, and by the way, the gimmick to this fight is whoever has the red orb thing around them, or red aura, they're the one you want to kill. There you go, finish the Deacons. Huzzah. I'm also wearing the Cleric's set for this fight, which is a very good light armor. So if you ever want to wear it, knock yourself out. By the way, if you rest at that bonfire and then come over here, you get the Pope set. And we're going to show off the Pope set because it's so awesome. All right, the Pope garb. Look at that. Look at me. I don't have the hat on for some reason, but the Pope hat is one of the better hats. This is actually a legitimate armor set, by the way, if you ever want to use a good light armor. So there you go, no deaths. Used the axe, the shield, that's my armor there, and then the rings that I just talked about. All right, on to the Abyss Watchers. This is the first Lord of Cinder, which means they're kind of the harder boss, and these guys are kind of the introduction to the mid-game. Once you beat these guys, you've done pretty good, and it's kind of all harder from here. But let's watch this lovely little cutscene. How ominous. All right, here we go. So the Abyss Watchers are definitely the first challenge of the run. Don't feel bad if you die multiple times on these guys. They are hard. Now, Just like most of the bosses in Dark Souls 3, the trick to these guys is really to run, and you can actually backstab these guys, as you see here. This is a great way to get some good damage in. Also, as you can see right there, this is a very unique fight, because first an NPC summons another enemy summons, that guy. But later, and sometimes concurrently, there's a second guy, or third I suppose, who will come up from the ground. And that guy is actually your ally. Now, he can still hurt you if he hits you, but he will usually not target you and will instead go for one of the other two chumps. By the way, you'll notice I'm mostly naked in this fight. That's because I really wanted to get the Flynn's Ring bonus, because DPS is really good in this fight. See, look at that. Bam! One of the hardest struggles in a Soul Level 1 run is the fact that you do barely any damage. Like, even on a good day. Oh yeah, this was actually a really interesting fight. See the guy with the red eyes? That's your buddy. This was a really interesting one because he just owned the other one who's allied with the boss. And then just went to town. Look at this guy. He's doing so much damage. I'm not even doing anything right here. By the way, do not get in the way of those two, because both of them can hit you. Oh yeah, and the other one will res. Those two guys will res if you don't take enough time, so... See, I thought he got him, but he did not, so I have to go hit him now. He's actually really quite the nail biter. Got him! Alright. So much like most of the bosses and the rest of the run, he has two phases. That first phase is tough, but it's kind of the good intro. A lot of kiting, a lot of kind of keeping distance and finding when there's a good opportunity to go in and attack. That's the Dark Souls formula that works really well. Figure out what your enemy does, and figure out when he kind of pauses, and that is when you go in to attack. Look for openings, don't just start going ham. Also, as you could probably tell from a few of the hits I took, you basically only have 2 hits until you're dead in this mode. It would have been 1, but thankfully that Lloyd's shield ring really protects us, so. Alright, jump, let's dance. Now, I'm using a fire weapon for this, the Brigand's Axe. With fire infusion. I actually think these guys are fairly resistant to fire or something. I don't remember what these guys are weak to, but you can, I think, do more damage if you use a lightning resin. I believe that's what they're weak against. By the way, this move right here is the one you want to attack him with. Wait till he does that last move where he does kind of a 360 in the air, little barrel roll, and you can backstab him very easily, mind you. So he doesn't do it there. Sometimes he'll do the little jump at the end, and sometimes he won't. See, like right there, he kind of didn't. You're seeing here, though, what I'm doing is I'm just kiting him back and forth and looking for an opening. Watch out for that move right there, because it's kind of... Most of his moves are very close range, except for that one where he shoots fire out in front of him. And obviously the leaps, but that's kind of different. So see that right there? I could have backstabbed him, but that's also when you want to heal. Right here, he's going to do it again. He does it again. Wow, what a chump. There you go. So again, slow and steady. I got a little extra hit in there, but that was pretty greedy. I probably shouldn't have. Watch out for that, by the way, because he'll also leave that trail, so if you dodge into the fire, you'll get damaged. But again, the key is just keep your health at 100% and you'll be fine. You can take 1 hit from most things. Does he do it again here? He does. Going in. Oh yeah. I forget, do I just go ham? I do. Nice. Alright, well I nailed that. There you go, nailed it. It's the Abyss Watchers. Again, just kind of be patient and wait for his openings. That guy is a very intimidating boss, and it's the first one that will probably make you really shake in your boots, but keep up at it, and you'll get his pattern down, do the dodges. I didn't die on him at all, which was great. I wore the Pope hat and the Pope skirt, and used the Brigand Axe, so... Anyways, stay tuned next time for more stuff, but first I'm going to talk a little bit about the equipment that you saw in the video today. So some of the mandatory stuff is this Lloyd's Shield Ring. This thing, like I said, keeps your defense high if you're at 100% HP. The Lloyd's Swords Ring, this keeps your DPS high if you're at 100% HP. Very useful. Flynn's Ring, I caution you, only use this if you're comfortable being naked. Otherwise, it'll just be awkward for everyone. The Deep Battle Axe, you're welcome to use this. This is that first one. It's really good. Great early game weapon. Grasscrest Shield, so this one's really powerful as a shield. Something you can pick up in the Undead Settlement right after Vort is the Small Leather Shield, which means you can parry, but we'll do that later. The Archdeacon set, or the Pope set, is another great choice of the armor. The Abyss Watchers set, the guys we just killed, you can get their armor. It's really good. I strongly recommend buying it. You can do that once you kill them. And of course the loincloth, which you start with. And every time you beat a boss with the loincloth, just remember how much of a baller you are. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you'll stick around and watch me run through the rest of it, because it was really fun making this. And if you want to follow along at home, you're welcome to. If you want any tips or pointers, just let me know and I'll focus on a certain part. But yeah, in the next episode, the difficulty starts to ramp up. I hope you'll stick around. This has been fun, and I'll see you next time.
Caged Badger.